Alright guys, we're doing some dove loads today, but first we're going to start off with this CVA Great Plains rifle, 50 cal. It belongs to Josh. He actually built this himself out of a kit. So we're going to test my homemade black powder and Pyrodex. See which one does better. I got a feeling the Pyrodex is going to do better because my black powder, the first batch I ran is with oak, not willow or anything, proper for firearms. But we're gonna run it over the chronograph and see how that goes.
I've got 100 grains of his homemade black powder. Cool thing, this powder measure, that belonged to, I think, my great-great-grandfather. He got it whenever he got his muzzleloader, which is, I think it's a 1872 Lehman Lancaster, big long rifle. Just thought it was cool, just an old piece. But anyways, we got 100 grains of homemade black, 490 round ball that he casted, a patch, and a number 11 cap. We'll see what this thing does.
Feels cool shooting this. I made the powder and the shot for it. Just can't get any cooler than that to me.
100 grain of powder, patch. .490 round ball. I learned this the hard way, but I had a patch get over top of on the outside of the ramrod one time, and obviously that's made to run patches and clean it. Well, I had a ball stuck in a patch to the end of my rod. That was interesting, just something to kind of watch out for. Might want to clean this thing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Make sure it's seated down good.
Loading these is slow, but it sure is fun to shoot them.
A lot of smoke. Just turn this thing on. One cap.
You might need to stand back a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
It didn't read it.
Oh, no, battery.
Battery. That is greatly unfortunate.
Yes, yes it is. I see where I hit the paper though.
Yeah, I see it too. Let me zoom in. Right there. Well, it's shaky, but I think you guys could see it. Anyway, I guess we can't use this today. That's my bad. I probably should have got a fresh battery. Okay, this load is 75 grains of Pyrodex because Pyrodex is a lot hotter than my homemade powder where it is oak charcoal. We're going to try again with the chronograph, but I don't think it's going to work. So, let's give it a shot. I gotta be quick with it though. Not gonna read it.
Nope.
That's unfortunate.
That was a pretty good concussion.
The charge of black was a really good concussion too.
Yeah.
Nice and loud, deep thud. Next to no recoil though.
No, it's black. They don't.
Check this out. Homemade butt pad for it. Me and Josh were sitting in my kitchen one night at like 3 in the morning. He had some leather. So we figured, why not make a butt pad for it?
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty good.
I've made a few different little pieces on that gun.
Yeah. That right there.
Yeah. Different hardware and stuff that's missing. I acquired this kit secondhand.
Dirty, dirty, dirty.
Yep. Yeah, well, fun little rifle though. See if I can't hit that Mountain Dew can.
It is right there.
This is, I think, like 105 grains of his black, 490 round ball, one patch.
Smoked it.
Killed it.
Let's go check that out. That was only like 12 yards away. Maybe 15. Nice.
Round ball.
490 round ball.
See what skimmed off the ground.
Yeah. That ball probably went off that way somewhere.
Yeah. That one actually had a little bit of recoil.
Did it?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so we're getting ready to jump into the dove loads. This one right here is just for fun. Somebody was asking me if we could push that 1725 FPS load with the AA powder, 31 grains of it, with quad buck. So that's what I'm doing. It's just 4 pellets for a 3/4 ounce load. We're just gonna see what kind of pattern it makes down there on that paper. We're only 20 yards away today. See what this does. I see 3 holes, 4 I think. 2 of them are almost touching.
Let's walk down here.
All looks beautiful.
That's good to know. We chronoed one of them and it was 1,844 feet a second. That's what we got.
Yeah, that was with 7.5 shot. That's not a bad spread. It's only 4 pellets, but probably a 10-inch circle all around. That's not bad.
Don't worry about that 490 up there.
Yeah, that's a 490. That's honestly not bad. Okay, so what we're doing is I had a viewer comment and ask me and Josh if we could do some dove loads since his dove season is right around the corner, he said. So that's what we're doing. We have Josh's hand loads over here, and we have mine here, just these. That's buckshot. Anyway, what we're doing is throwing these out back to back and seeing whose is better. Should be pretty fun.
Just want to add in here, I know nothing about dove hunting.
I don't either. I've never done it. So we were reading what a dove load is, and like we said we're not experts. So an ounce or an ounce and an eighth standard velocity, 1200 FPS, is considered dove loads from what we understand. So that's basically what we have here. And I think we have 2 loads apiece that are, what should we call them? Super dove loads?
I guess.
Dove smashers? Anyway, let's get to it.
So we're going to start out here. I'm going to start out here anyways with my first load's 24 grains of AA Super Handicap. X12, X gas seal or equivalent to that anyways. Claybuster wad. 1 ounce of 7.5. It's supposed to be running 1375. We was going to test that today, but the batteries died in the chrono. So.
Oops.
Yep. Anyways, 20, 25 yards. Let's see how this patterns. It's kind of funny. I called him and I was like, hey man, let's do a little bit of a challenge. You know, you may have more stuff, but I'm going to play around and try to figure out some nice loads. And you try to play around and figure out some nice loads. You know, my load and the load he's getting ready to shoot are 1 grain difference in powder charges. The only difference in them.
Yep.
Mine is 24 grains. AA Super Handicap. We're going to see how it does. Hull looks fine.
Great. Yep, everything looks good. Smells good too.
Alrighty, not the greatest of the patterns, but sure ain't the worst I've ever seen.
Side to side coverage, almost up and down. No huge patches in it aside from the one right here.
I think it'd knock a dove out of the sky.
Oh, it for sure would. Now keep in mind, we're 20 yards away, 25 maybe, and that's, you know, maybe a little bit far for small birds.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so the load I have here is almost identical to his. A little bit of a difference. This is a once fired Fiocchi Hull. We got 23 grains instead of 24 grains of the AA Super Handicap. A thin nitro card over the powder, Claybuster, 12S3 clone, Federal 12S3 clone. 1 ounce of 7.5 shot. That nitro card is just to take up the extra space like he did with the X12X. It actually ejected.
That's the first time I think I've ever seen the gun eject like that.
The gun does have an ejector, but it's always, you know, function as an extractor. Yeah. All looks fine.
Looks good.
So, you know, that 1 grain less powder really seemed to help. Pattern's a lot smaller, like maybe half the size. Density's a lot better too. Don't know. Moving slower, maybe?
I've got one for you next one.
Okay.
Well, he dropped a grain and improved his pattern, so I'm going to jump up 6 or 7 grains and see if I can't worsen mine. This one's 31 grains of AA Super Handicap X12X gas seal with a piece of a fiber cushion wad, a Claybuster wad. It's only 3/4 of an ounce of 7.5 this time. The load data says it's running 1725, but the one we shot over the chronograph said 1844, so it's either going to cut a hole or it's just not going to hit the paper. We're getting ready to find out.
That was loud.
Snappy. Well, it's now in a push rod gun.
Dang it. Hole got stuck in the chamber, but it looks fine. The Stevens always does that right there. Not always, but with hotter loads it does. Primer looks fine. It has masking tape around it because it was a 209A primer in a Euro hull.
Well, guys, I see a lot of doves flying through that pattern. I'll tell you what, though. The one we shot over top of the chronograph running 1,844 feet a second for 3/4 ounces of 7.5 shot. I'm surprised there's even any on the paper.
Yeah. Now, you're a little bit closer, maybe like 10, 12 yards away. That'd totally kill it, and you would be guaranteed to not have a cripple. Yeah. That's a stout load.
I'd say it'd knock a squirrel out of a tree.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This one here is a normal load, not something screaming fast. We got 20.7 grains of Hodgdon clays, 12 gauge nitro card, thin one over the powder. The Claybuster, what is this? 12S3 clone, and an ounce of 7.5 shot. I need to go back to school and learn how to write. Awesome. Yeah, guys, I know the gun's jumping around on me quite a bit. That's because I'm not holding the gun very steady at all. Still have the ejector working. That's good. Maybe these hot loads finally fixed it. Hull looks great. So that one's pretty good. That one is a totally viable hunting load. No patches. Pattern is maybe 20 by 20. It looks like it's in a good even circle. The only real flyer, if you want to call it that, is up here and right here. And they're not even truly flyers. They're just on the border of the pattern. That's a solid load all day.
Better than anything I've shot.
I'm sure you got a good one too.
Once again, this one's AA Super Handicap. If you can't tell, I really like this powder. But it is 28 grains of AA Super Handicap, X12X gas seal, Claybuster wad, an ounce of 7.5. It's supposed to be running 1440. Other than that, I mean, I guess we'll see how it patterns. So far, he's doing way better at this making good patterns things than I am. But I feel like I'm making better booms.
Yeah. That was a heck of a boom.
Let's see where the wad hit it.
Oh, I do too. That's a big hole down there. Oop. Didn't have it in frame. See that mark right there on the brass? Stevens always does that with hotter loads.
It's that right there. You can see even where it's wore on the finish.
Yeah. But the hull looks great. It's a good load. See how it patterned.
Yeah, not the best pattern, but that's actually still a pretty decent pattern. I'm starting to wonder if that wasn't 6 or 5 shot though instead of 7.5.
It looks bigger than 7.5, that's for sure. Oh God, I almost fell.
That it does.
I know it ain't number 4 shot.
Huh?
I think that was 4 shot.
Oh, it might have been.
The density ain't.
I believe that was number 4 shot.
It has to be because the density's not as high as it would be with it. That was 7.5 shot. That was an ounce and a quarter load.
Well, there you go, guys. It's a duck load. No, I'm joking. You don't use lead shot for ducks.
The wad struck it right here.
And definitely smoke a dove or a rabbit or a squirrel.
Smoke anything that can be taken with a shotgun with birdshot.
Yep.
All right, so this one here is if you want to take doves at 30, maybe 40 yards. We have 23 grains of green dot, the Ballistic Products multi-metal wad, which is like a TPS but thicker. A 1/4-inch fiber cushion wad, and a 24 gauge nacho card. Inside the wad, take up all the extra room, and 1 ounce of 7.5 shot. In a Challenger haul, it's just a Shaddai with a Winchester 209. This one might do really well, or not. Who knows?
We do now.
Stuck
As soon
again.
as we go look.
Oh, I got it. I think the spring's leaking this gun. Still has the bump on the brass, but otherwise looks beautiful. So it may have patterned tighter than the loads we have been firing, but not by much. So if you're loading these dove loads, just stick to standard trap wads, like a Claybuster. But the density is really good. That's the big difference, is the density is amazing with that. Overall size of the pattern is, like I said, pretty much the same.
This one's kind of my long range load in a way. Not really. It's just got a lot more pellets to compete with what he just shot. It's 32 grains of IMR blue. Thank you, Matt. MG42 wad and 1.25 ounces of 7.5, so it should be running around 1250 or 1200.
Now this one I have high hopes for. The MG42 wad pattern is awesome with everything.
Yes. Let's see if it'll stand up to that bimetal you just shot, you cheater.
That was a nice deep thud. Hey, it came out too.
Hull looks fine. Still got the little dimple.
Primer looks fine too.
Man, that powder smells good.
It really does. It doesn't smell like anything else.
I don't know if it outdone the bimetal wad, but it's right on par with it every bit of anyways. Pretty good coverage.
Density's pretty good too.
Yeah. That's about a universal load. Anything. Just adjust your shot size for the game you're after.
Yeah, that's a great load. 1.25 ounces, 1440. That's a tried and true classic 12 gauge load.
Yeah. Well, a lot of old timers tell you it's hard to beat a square load. So that's what I've got here. I measured out 1 ounce a shot and used the same measure to measure out the powder charge, which is 1 ounce equivalent of Pyrodex. See what happens. I ain't too sure about the wad I use because it's a plastic wad with a black powder substitute, but we'll see anyways.
Seemed to work just fine.
Blew
That
the
smells
gun
like
up.
rotten eggs. Hull looks fine.
For my money, I'm gonna throw away all this smokeless powder junk and just stick with Pyrodex. Y'all have a good one.
It seemed to work pretty good. That might be fun to actually take out with the old single shots
Yeah.
and black powder or a substitute for it.
Right. In all honesty, guys, that actually did kind of surprise me, but it's really no doubt it's probably only running 1,000 feet a second or something. Real slow.
Yeah, I heard it smack the paper like a whole second after he fired it.
Yeah. Still not a bad pattern though, really.
No, it's pretty good. So, funny story. I'm an idiot again and didn't bring enough paper. So what I'm going to do is just aim low, maybe low left, and send that at it. See what happens. Now keeping this frame right here, keep that in your mind. And I'll try my best here. All right, guys, this is the last birdshot round that we'll be able to do today, but that's fine. We have some buckshot just for fun to pattern. Again, I have to aim low left on this because I forgot to bring enough paper.
What's the load?
Oh, yeah, you're right, my bad. We got 17 grains of tight group, 12 gauge thin nacho card. It's 0.70. No, 0.07 is what it is. Claybuster orange wad. Again, I can't read my own handwriting, but this is a 1 ounce load.
16 grains of tight group, you say?
17.
17?
So 17 grains of tight group, the Claybuster orange wad with a thin nitro card underneath it to seal the powder, and an ounce of 7.5 is what it is. God, my handwriting's terrible. At least my memory's good. I see with the wad punch through it. That load didn't have any recoil. Everything looks fine. So that's pretty good. I don't know if you guys can really tell from the last load. This is what he fired up here with the Pyrodex, and down here is what I fired with the top group. It's pretty good. It looks like I had some number 8 shot mixed in there too. If you zoom in, you can actually see some of these pellets are way smaller than the 7.5.
That's all right.
And this is oblong because the paper was like that when I hit it.
Yep. Next one we're going to be running at it, we'll be able to see anyways. It's one that I've cooked up. It is 8 pellets of number 1 buck. 31 grains of AA Super Handicap. Should be running like anywhere from 17 to 25 to 1844.
Yep. Should be a good load.
Yeah. This one should be another ridiculously hot buckshot load. It's 31 grains of AA Super Handicap. What's the name of that little red wad?
Claybuster CB1138.
A Claybuster CB1138 X12X gas seal. 8 pellets of number 1 buck with mixed number 47 buffer.
Yep, and that is 29 caliber number 1, not true 30 cal.
Right. We shot one of these loads anyways, and I mentioned this a few times, and it's the only one we really chronoed like it so far, and it hit 1844. Be cool if it was 1776 though.
It would be cool.
Caught the Independence Day load. But let's see what happens here.
Loud is what that was. That was very loud.
Hull looks fine.
Yep, still the bump on the brass. That's to be expected. Everything else looks beautiful.
That was 8 pellets of number 1 buck, which is 29 caliber number 1 buck. Running anywhere from 1725 to 1844 at roughly 20-25 yards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you look at this one, it kind of looks like a buck because it's a double.
Yep, that's a double hit.
You know, 7. The 8th one, I'd say, probably either went down over here, or it was flying over here with its buddy. Or it could have slipped through the hole where the wad went through. I don't know.
Who knows? But that's a pretty good pattern.
For as fast as it was running, yeah.
I expected it to be a lot worse, but no, we got 7 to 8. That's really good. And probably a 14-inch circle. So this is a load that you guys have heard me mention a bunch of times before. I loaded this one here quick, so it's kind of ugly, but we have a brand new Shaddad Hull. This one's copper. This is my stupid hot buckshot load. It's 37 grains of long shot, Claybuster orange wad with the seal flared out. 9 pellets of double aught buck. It's an 1.125 ounce load. Should be 1585 FPS. Black powder. Wasn't expecting that. Anyway, this is gonna hurt a lot, but I'm gonna fire it. Stupid hot buckshot. I am honestly not looking forward to this right here at all.
They're snappy out of the singles.
Yeah, and this thing has just a metal butt plate on it. Oh, God. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. I'm just kidding, I'll shoot it. Ooh. That hurt.
Don't worry, I'll shoot one. I've got the same one, only it's loaded with 7.5 instead of buckshot. I'll shoot one too.
It's stuck in there again. Yep, hull looks fine. No issues. Hate that load.
He's complaining about the recoil of that last load, and it just so happened I have one that's loaded exactly the same, except for instead of buckshot, I've got 7.5. It's 37 grains of long shot, CB wad, 1.125 ounce of 7.5.
Yep. Now don't get me wrong here. Huh? So now don't get me wrong here. I actually like recoil, but that one actually hurts.
Ready?
Yep.
Still not that bad.
Oh no, they look pretty bad.
Yeah, not that bad.
Well, let's go see how the buckshot though did. That was 7.5 shot. So guys, in all honesty, I thought that would pattern just absolutely horrendous. That was conventionally loaded, no shot cup. That's screaming fast velocity. Again, it's advertised at 1585. And I have these pellets, 8 of them in probably, no, all 9 in probably a 10-inch circle. There's 2 here, that's a double. That's an obvious double. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a miracle. That even patterns that well.
Yep.
All right, this is a load that my friend Zach loads up all the time. We have a brand new Rio Haul, black 25mm brass, 42 grains of blue dot, Shadot primer, Claybuster orange wad, and the Lyman 525 slug. This should be moving, I think it was 1440 FPS. Now, here's the thing. Everyone says not to fire slugs out of the 835 where it has the 10 gauge bore, but this is a Sabo slug in a Claybuster wad. I have a theory that it's just going to arbitrate to the bore and seal, and it'll shoot just fine. We're going to shoot it at the paper and see if it tumbles or not. My guess is it's not going to tumble. If I hit it. Well, left a pretty good hole in it.
Cause some bitch was loud.
Yeah, everything looks good though. So guys, I was wrong. That totally did tumble. See the hourglass shape to it? That did tumble. This is just how we learn stuff.
This one's socket slug. It's a real pretty thing. Let's see if it tumbles. I can see a hole from here. That did not tumble.
That was really loud. I didn't write the date on it, but that was a long shot. That's what that was. That was 31 grains of long shot and a 1.5 ounce socket slug.
It felt like a 1.5 ounce socket slug.
Yeah.
Anybody find the hole?
It wasn't tumbling.
I was gonna say that's pretty safe to say that was not tumbling.
So we'll have to do more testing with that, but I think socket slugs are good to go with the 835. With the overbore barrel anyway. Now with the rifle barrel or the turkey barrel, obviously it's good to go. How about a 690 round ball, guys? After this. What was that?
37.1 grains of long shot.
Oh, that one load? Okay. Another one of them stupid hot buckshot top loads.
Yeah, they're not nothing through this thing.
I didn't figure they were. How about a 690 round ball through my Stevens? All right, at this point, we're just having fun. Again, 690 round ball. There's a stump down there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but let's see if I can't hit it. He already did.
Looks like you went right to the left of it.
I did.
It's all right though.
Wonder if I got any more of them.
I don't know.
Lyman 525 and a cut off roll crimp shell. Winchester. What are you doing?
Oh, you shooting a round ball. Mine's not going to be a 690, but I can shoot a 490.
Okay. Anyway, Lyman 525, Winchester AA old style silver hull. This is, I think it was 28 grains of long shot pushing this one.
90 grains of Pyrex, 490 round ball, one patch, Remington number 11 cap. See if we can't kill a stump. The world will never know.
I didn't see the smoke was in the way.
I love these old things.
I do too. I'm not sure if that hit it or not. I couldn't see it.
I chose not to finish the barrel on this thing.
Yeah.
I just clean it and oil it real good. That way it stays, like a natural blue almost.
Yeah, we did take Birchwood KC Super Blue and put one thin layer over it. No, it's Perma Blue.
Yep, just enough to coat it. As you can see, it's not blued by any means.
Nope, it looks beautiful.
I think so.
Okay, here's that Lyman slug.
Slowly work my way around here. See if you can't hit that stump down there. Looks like you skimmed the grass.
I did.
Ah, well, I got
what
one.
my problem is I can't hit nothing. Hull looks fine other than it's been cut off.
The hull says clean shot on it. I don't believe that's going to be true, but you never know.
Is it clean?
No, it's ripped.
Yep. Dirty.
Ain't that a nice looking line of hulls?
What hulls?
Exactly.
We have a 2 3/4 ounce load here. Just curious what the velocity is on it.
Don't shoot my truck.
I won't shoot your truck. $10.66. That is respectable.
2 3/4 ounce.
At $10.66.
That's wild.
Show the haul real quick. See, no pressure signs whatsoever.
That's not quite the 1200 is advertised.
No,
But 1066 with 2 3/4 ounce of lead, I mean.
that's still like absolutely respectable.
Yep.
All right, we're just gonna fish the rest of the day. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Ain't it funny? The little fellas will eat the biggest baits. Ah, well, let's let him go.